I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and this is my review and installation of the Rugged Ridge Spartacus rear bumper fitting all 2007 to 2016 JKs. Today we're going to talk about the construction, some of the features, and of course the installation of this bumper. This bumper is a little bit of a unique offering from Rugged Ridge because this is a stamped steel bumper, and what that means is it starts out as a flat piece of steel and it is then stamped into this shape that you see here. A lot of the other bumpers on the market, even some of the ones that do have a few rounded edges on them, are still plate steel bumpers that are pieces of plate steel that are cut and welded together and then just rounded out. The stamped steel on this bumper allows it to have a bit more of a unique styling than a lot of other ones, a lot more curves and compound curves, and it also allows it to be a little bit lighter weight while still being very strong. Now, because this is a newer technology and because there aren't a lot of other stamped steel bumpers on the market that you can purchase, this is going to be a little bit more expensive than a lot of other rear bumpers. It does have some of the features and some styling that a lot of you guys are going to like, so if it's in your budget, it's a great option. So as I mentioned, this bumper is stamped out of a single piece of steel, and that is 11 gauge steel, so it is still going to have a lot of rigidity and a lot of strength, but it is going to be lighter weight than a lot of the other plate steel bumpers on the market. As far as features, this bumper does have D-ring mounts so that you can put some D-rings on it for recovery and also a little bit for style. And it has removable ends, which is also something that's pretty unique. These ends do wrap around to the side of the tub a little bit, giving you some additional protection. But if you decide to run without them, you can simply unbolt the 4 bolts on each side, remove those ends, and run it as a shorter version of the bumper, which just gives you a little bit of variety. Now, this section in the center here, which actually frames that D-ring mount, because on this bumper, the D-ring mounts bolt directly to the frame instead of being welded to the bumper because of the design of the bumper, these are actually a plastic piece. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's a UV plastic, it's strong, it's heavyweight, it's not going to be subjected to a lot of abuse in the position that it's in, so it doesn't really need to be a structural piece, but it is something to point out. A plate steel bumper is going to be completely steel. This does have some plastic components on it. A few other things aside from the D-ring mounts that I like about this bumper are the fact that it has a nice deep cutout here. So if you are running a slightly larger than stock spare tire in the spare location, you are going to have some clearance so you don't have any issues with the tire hitting the bumper when you open and close the tailgate. Finally, right down here, you do have a cutout that'll allow you to run a factory or factory style tow hitch and an area over here where you can clip in your wiring harness. So Rugged Ridge did think of a lot when they put this bumper together. Rugged Ridge does include a big shiny Rugged Ridge logo right on the back of your bumper. Now that is removable, but you'll be left with 2 small holes in your bumper. This bumper is going to install easily onto your Jeep, and if you have some traditional hand tools and about an hour's time, you can do this in your driveway without the need to take the Jeep to a shop. Now, because this is a stamped steel bumper, it does install a little bit differently than some of the aftermarket bumpers that we normally see. However, the process is still very simple. The first step is to remove your factory rear bumper, which you'll do by removing the 2 bolts on either side that go into the frame rail and the 2 bolts that go into the rear cross member, and then that bumper will just fall right off. In order to get this one installed, you have the D-ring mounts to install first, and they'll slide into each of the frame rails, and then a secondary bracket that attaches to the outside of the frame rails, and then everything gets bolted together. From there, it's just a matter of setting this bumper onto those new brackets that you just installed and bolting it down. After that, you'll install the bumper ends if you want to run them, and you're finished. As I mentioned, the whole process is really simple and made even easier by the fact that this is a stamped steel bumper, so it is going to be a lot lighter weight than those plate steel bumpers. Now, if you've been shopping for bumpers, you'll notice that the price tag on this one is a little bit higher than you would normally see for a bumper that doesn't have a tire carrier. In fact, there are some bumper and tire carrier combinations on the market that are going to be right around the same price as this bumper alone. However, like we said before, this has a unique styling because it is a stamped steel bumper. It has the unique option of being able to remove the bumper ends, and it is something that you don't find from a lot of other manufacturers out there. So if this is what you're looking for, if you're looking for a stamped steel bumper with the removable ends that has the D-ring mounts, you will love this style, you may be willing to pay the slightly higher price tag that comes along with this. However, if you're looking for something that just has D-ring mounts on it, that doesn't have a tire carrier, and you're okay with a slightly heavier, a little bit more boxy plate steel bumper, we have those options on the website for a little bit less money, even some options offered from Rugged Ridge. So if you're looking to replace the factory plastic rear bumper on your JK with one that's going to provide some more protection and some additional features, I would definitely recommend taking a look at this bumper. It is a unique style that you can't get from a lot of other manufacturers on the market, and as long as you have the budget for it, it's a great looking piece. So that's my review of the Rugged Ridge Spartacus rear bumper fitting all 2007 to 2016 JKs that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.